Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Morgan, and here we do a little bit of all things creepy, and we do it every week, Monday through Friday. So sometimes we'll read scary stories, sometimes we'll talk about scary movies, scary books. I'll tell you guys some of my own personal paranormal encounters, and yeah, we do it all here. But today specifically, we are reading scary stories that you guys have sent in to me. So with that being said, please check out the description below if you have any stories you would like for me to read. And with all that being said, let's read some scary stories. I've been following you on YouTube for around a year now after one of your videos on Appalachian folklore popped up as a recommended video. I've had experiences of hauntings most of my life, which I'll try and remember to send later, but there's one thing that's been more consistent lately. Many of my experiences happen not in waking life, though there's plenty of those, but in a dream state. It's hard to describe how I know the difference between something that's just a dream and something that's more than a dream, but somehow I always do. Lately, I've had dreams where other entities, they don't always look human or even have bodies for that matter, say amongst themselves, she's not fully human, and other dreams with beings saying she's not ready yet. Now, I'm a relatively patient person. However, I was in a mood in this one dream state and tired of hearing these things. Also, it's rather rude to talk about someone without including them in the conversation. So I remember whipping around at one of these two female figures and somewhat yelling, "Then what am I?" They seemed shocked, like I shouldn't have been aware of them, and ran away. I remember shaking my head and waking from the dream not long afterwards. I don't know what that means. I don't know what else I could be other than human. It's not like I'm free of medical problems. Have you heard of this before? Are they referring to the soul, not the body? It's honestly left more questions than answers. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I hope all is well with you, your hubby, and your four-legged children. I thought a little bit of context may help. I'm the one that responded to your story with the "I nearly passed 7 times." In case you didn't see my response, there's the detailed list. I got sick when I was a toddler, in a coma for 6 months, and flatlined 3 times. I don't remember anything prior to the coma. So that was the first 3. Number 4, I was almost pulled out to sea by an undertow when I was 8. An unknown and not seen by anyone on the shore hand held me until the water receded. Number 5, while I was in an apartment laundry area, someone pulled an automatic rifle outside. I saw the person and told my friends to hide. He turned 2 seconds after we weren't visible. Turns out he had just robbed 3 businesses nearby. Number 6, I nearly bled to death from birth control pills, and by bleed to death, they couldn't find a pulse and I was cold to the touch, but I was still awake. I scared the crap out of the nurse with that one. I took a nap at work. I don't honestly know what happened, but in the dream I was in the shop I worked at, but the windows were covered in curtains and the owner didn't have those. When the door burst open, a white light filled the space. And for a bonus round, I was hit by a car on a busy road while walking across the street. Through a series of unfortunate events, I ended up with a badly broken leg and a hairline fracture in one of my wrists, but nothing more severe. So there's definitely something going on. I don't know about this "she's not fully human" thing. Like, are you a fae baby? Are you a fae baby? Hold on, wait. I said that as a joke, but like, are you? I have thoughts. I love that. If you are, love that for you. Alright, next story. I live in Alberta, Canada, in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It's always seemed like I have a good sense of the paranormal ever since I was a baby. Just to share, I haven't had the best childhood. My parents got divorced when I was around 5. After that, we didn't see my dad for a few years. He's back in our lives now, though. I have an older brother and a younger half-brother who is my dad's and my stepmom's. Both of my parents have talked about some of their paranormal experiences, so this is not an uncommon occurrence in my family. When I was little, I remember being in the car driving and seeing people standing on the side of the road in old-fashioned clothes. When I looked back, they would all be gone and no one else would ever see them. I would also hear voices sometimes, but again, no one else would hear them. No one was home and I would still sometimes see and hear things. It makes me feel uneasy, like I'm never fully alone. I also sleepwalk and talk, and my family has said that I will do some very nerving things, like talk to people I've never met along with fighting with them. I've never been able to explain these things and also don't talk about it much. My dogs will act very weird sometimes, like barking at nothing or staring at something past me. It feels like something is with me at all times, and I don't know what it is or how to communicate with it. Also, when I was a baby, my mom tells me about this story when we were staying at a family friend's house that's very old. He said that it's haunted, but one night we were sleeping and I was with my mom in one room and my brother was with my dad in another. My mom wakes up to the bedroom door opening and hearing footsteps. She thought it was my brother, but it wasn't. She also said I was tossing and turning the whole night, which I never did. So they told a friend about it, and they said I was probably just a spirit, and they said that there used to be a nanny that lived in the house in the early 1900s, so it was probably her seeing if I was okay. I don't know if that connected to my other experiences, but I thought I would share. That's creepy. So you said you didn't know how to talk with it. If you're wanting to, I recommend using a pendulum and trying to contact whatever's around you. It's probably a protector. It could literally be an ancestor or something with you. It doesn't feel malicious at all. Alright, next story. For privacy reasons, I won't be saying any real names in this story, but for context, keep in mind I do live in Appalachia. Late last year in December, my friend Jessie, fake name, had lost her father. He had just moved out and passed while eating dinner at his girlfriend's house. After he passed, my friend's house had a heavy energy. She told me that after he passed, she started to see his reflection in her TV screen. He'd always sit on the end of her bed and play the Xbox. Well, one night his reflection was there. She tried to talk to it. She said, "Dad," and the reflection turned its head. More recently, she had nightmares about him. She also told me sometimes she hears his footsteps downstairs when no one's there. One of the dreams she told me about was something like this. She was at a family party and there were flyers all around. The flyers had his picture from his funeral. In the dream, she took a flyer and went to her father saying, "What does this mean?" And he stared at her and said, "I'm dead. I'm going to die," repeatedly. Note that in this dream, his eyes were all white. Just yesterday, she was talking to her mom and they heard the keypad to their front door beeping as if someone was trying to open it. Just today, we were on FaceTime when she went into her basement to grab something, and a door that she had shut the night before was open. They tried to sage the house, but nothing's working. Do you have any idea why these things are happening to her or how to stop them? So, a lot of that's probably just residual energy from the dad being there, like especially the Xbox scenario or the door, the keypad thing. Sage tends to aggravate things if you're wanting to calm things down. I recommend lavender in this situation. And just out loud, just being like, "Hey, Dad, if you're here, you're scaring the absolute crap out of me. Can you, like, tone it back a little?" Even something like that. Because you don't need to be scared in your space. But I'm thinking most of that's residual energy. Which is not harmful, just a little alarming. Alright, next story. I've watched your videos and wanted to tell you of an encounter I had with something. It was a couple of years ago, and I was staying with my dad who lived by the woods and was going to bed. I was going to sleep but was still awake and heard my door open. I looked up and saw this pitch black figure. I don't remember what its face looked like, but it was very tall and was peeking at my door. It had very long arms as well and had long slender fingers. I thought it was my dad looking in, so I wasn't afraid. We made eye contact for a few minutes and then it closed the door. I haven't had an encounter with it since that I'm aware of. I'm not sure if it's really creepy or anything to tell you, but I found it very interesting. I do know that that house was a little haunted because my dad also had an encounter with a figure that looked like my grandfather, but he had passed somewhere quite far away. The figure of my grandfather also was in the same area as that black figure. I'm not sure if that figure of my grandfather and the black figure are related or not, considering the figure I saw didn't look like my grandfather. I hope this was interesting for you as it was for me, and I hope you have a good day or night. So that to me just sounds like a shadow figure. The grandfather one, that could be a different situation, but I think what you saw was just a shadow figure, and I don't think they were connected. And they're not harmful, they're just scary. Alright, next story. To start this off, I've been seeing things since I was little, but in the past few years I've had more experiences with the supernatural. I live in Washington Shoreline, and I've had a lot of people I've met in that area also have supernatural experiences. Today I want to share 3. The first one was from August or September of last year. It was late, around 1 or 2 in the morning, and I was just on TikTok when something started to feel a little off. And then there was a clap, not like something breaking or falling, like something clapped. From the corner of my eye, I saw something's hands pull out of my vision. When I shoved my phone over to see that side of my room, there was nothing. The hands just didn't look right. They were long with sharp nails and very pale, almost white. They looked human, but didn't at the same time. The second experience was in early November. Me and my friends were trying to talk to something in my house. The way we were seated around the candle was 3 of us were on the floor and the other 2 were on the bed. When we were trying to speak, my friend looked up and saw a male figure try to grab my friend's foot. This foot that almost got her foot grabbed was on the bed. My third and final experience was in December. I was home alone and doing my homework. I had the TV on because I can't work in the quiet. But then I started to hear footsteps, so I paused the TV and the footsteps kept going and my dog started barking. I left the house and had a panic attack. The worst part is that the cops came and checked the house and there was no one. No evidence that someone was there besides me. Hope you read these stories and find them somewhat interesting. That was terrifying. Anyways, I think we're going to end the video there today. Sorry it's a little bit on the shorter side. But I will see you guys tomorrow to watch some scary TikToks with you.